Alright, today we're making Snickerdoodle cookies. And I'm just going to review some of the ingredients. You need 2 sticks of butter, 2 eggs, 2 and 3/4 cup of flour, and then you're going to use 1 1/2 cups of sugar, and then you're going to need 2 tablespoons of sugar, but you're going to save it to the side, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, save it to the side. This is 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt. I use sea salt. And 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the KitchenAid with the batter tool on it. And you're going to save a little bowl because in the end you're going to roll the cookies in it, and I'll show you that step. So we're going to do it step by step. So first, we're going to preheat the oven to 350. Okay, so now you're going to get a sifter and a bowl. And I'm going to put the flour, into the sifter first. After I sift the flour, we're going to sift in the baking powder and the salt. So we'll just flour in there. And this is just so you don't have any clumps in it for your cookie dough. Just set this aside, and we're going to move on to the next step, which is adding the butter. Okay, so now we're going to add your softened butter. And a tip, if you don't have time because you didn't leave the butter out to soften, a lot of microwaves nowadays have a soften feature on it, and you just put in how many sticks you're softening, which I did, and these are actually like super soft, but that's okay, it'll just whip up faster. And I'm just using a little spatula to get it all off the wrapper. And we're going to turn our KitchenAid on to get it creamy. And I'm just going to let that cream up, and then we're going to gradually add the sugar, and we're going to make it get nice and fluffy. Slowly start adding the sugar. Should have ran this through the sifter, it's a little clumpy. By the way, I purchased all of my baking products from a store called Aldi's here up on the East Coast. I'm not sure where everybody's watching from, but Google and see if you have an Aldi's. Their prices are really cheap, and like I said, I'm always looking to save money. And the butter this week is only $2.29, and the sugar is real cheap, so that's where I'm going. So we're just going to let this whip up. I'll turn it on a little bit higher. We gotta let this just get a little bit fluffier. But then our next step is we're gonna reduce the speed and add the eggs. Okay, so this is getting pretty good and blended. Now we need to get it fluffy. So I'm gonna just shut it off because I'm very clumsy in the kitchen. And we're gonna just add the egg. Add our second egg. I didn't get any shells. Okay, and we're going to just turn it back on. I've seen KitchenAid makes a beater that now has the rubber spatula edge. I have it on my wish list. Hopefully I'll get it. Because then you don't have to scrape down the bowl. And then the next step, once you get it to the fluffy consistency you want, is you're going to gradually add your sifted flour that has your baking powder and your salt to this. So this is looking good. I'm just going to scrape down the bowl, and I'm going to add a little bit of flour now, and then I'll start it, and then I'll slowly add. Okay, I had mine a little thing. My paddle wasn't attached perfectly, so we'll just continue where we are. I'm starting to add the flour slowly. into the mixture, and I'll just continue to add it slowly. And we're going to just blend this into a nice cookie dough. And we'll just give it a few minutes to mix. And keep going. Oh yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. I like to bake a lot of my stuff from scratch because my children have food allergies, so just to play it safe, I know what's going in it. I don't have to worry about peanuts, tree nuts, or any kind of sunflower oil, which we have allergies to. It's also a good idea to bake and give it as gifts. They sell such beautiful cookie boxes at the Dollar Tree to give them out. My oven just beeped, which means we are preheated at 350, so that's good. Okay, so this is pretty much mixed. You can hear it, the beater is starting to slow down a little. I'll just kick it up a notch to get it really blended. I think I'll scrape down the beater a little. But you can see the consistency that it needs to be. I just want to make sure it's all blended, so I'll put it on for another second. And then I'm going to show you how to make the cinnamon part. I'm going to roll the balls in to make the Snickerdoodles. Okay, so now we're going to just take a little bowl and we're going to add the regular sugar, the remaining 2 tablespoons of sugar. And this was 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And we're just gonna mix it because this is what we're gonna roll the Snickerdoodle balls in to create the coating on the cookie. So just mix this together really good. Okay, and then we're just gonna set this aside and take our cookie mixture. And you're going to take a cookie sheet and you're going to line it with parchment paper just so that the cookies don't stick. You could use a non-stick cookie sheet. I prefer to use the parchment paper. So meanwhile your oven's already preheating at 350. This is the mixture we're going to roll the balls in. They said to make them about 1 1.75 inches. I'm no good at estimating 1 1.75 inches, but I don't know. These look too big. That looks about right. So we'll roll it. You're supposed to get approximately 20 cookies. You're just going to roll it around to coat the cookie. And just place them usually about, I'd say, 2 to 3 inches apart on parchment paper, because they're going to spread out. You could make them a little smaller. Depends on how you like your cookies. But basically, that's about it. I'm going to put 3 across. Okay, so I got about 26 cookies out of the mix. I have another tray to the side that I put together some extra, but we have to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes, or until the edges are slightly golden, depending on your oven. at 350. So I'll show you the finished product when they're done. I'm gonna stick them in the oven now. I put them in for a full 15 minutes. I like my cookies on the softer side, so I'm gonna go ahead and take them out, especially the bottom rack. They definitely look more done than the upper rack. So this is the finished product, and you're just gonna put them on a cookie sheet to cool, probably about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or whatever, but I'm just gonna let them sit a minute, and then I'm gonna pull them off and put them on a tray.